Arsenal fans, out you come. It's okay. It's fine. The Premier League is back. Now's the time, guys. Okay. I'm going to offer a bit of optimism here. The fixtures from here in are both tasty and could be scrumptious for Arsenal in the next few weeks. Of course, it's not been a great start. They're currently just 3 places ahead of my beloved Queen's Park Rangers in the tables. I don't think we're going to catch him, but they need to start scoring goals and winning points now for Arteta. It's a defining period for him. And the games are as follows: Norwich, Burnley, AFC Wimbledon in the cup, Tottenham Hotspur, Brighton, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa. Wins need to be found. It really is a defining era for Arteta, starting with this game against Norwich this weekend, isn't it, Hugh?
Well, it's Norwich and Burnley up next, then the game against Spurs. Now, I mean, I don't even want to fathom the idea that Arsenal lose to both Norwich and Burnley.
Norwich at home.
Yeah. I know. It's possible. And then go and have to play against Tottenham Hotspur in a game that, I mean, let's be all, if they've lost the first 5 games of the season, that game against Tottenham is either the first match for a new manager or possibly the last match for Mikel Arteta. So, in fact, these next 2 games before that match at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I think are huge for Mikel Arteta. He's got to win them both, to be perfectly honest. I mean, you can't not beat Norwich City. No disrespect to Norwich City, but in terms of the Arsenal fans' perspective on this, you have to beat them. I'm sorry, many people's favourite to not just be relegated, but be bottom in the Premier League this season. You have to beat them at home. There is no other possible result. Even a draw, I think, will be greeted with, angst, I think anger, despair. So they have to go and get all 3 points against Norwich City, who I'm sure Norwich City, by the way, are thinking, let's go and get
there's more pressure on that game, isn't there? Because I think people are looking 2 games ahead at that North London derby, aren't they?
Absolutely. No, and they shouldn't look too far ahead right now. You've lost the first 3 games of the season. You're taking on Norwich City at home. They look a better side, I think, than the last time they were in the Premier League, or certainly, a well thought out side with more experience of this level, maybe going through their games with a little bit more control than they did previously, although they played great football the last time they were in the Premier League. I think if they switch it on against Arsenal, they can win that match away from home. I'll be perfectly honest. It is possible, okay? Arsenal are maybe as bad as the table makes them look. I'm just saying maybe.
Final question for you, Hugh. I think, 2 questions. First of all, the Norwich game, do they win that? Second question, October 22nd, they will play Aston Villa at home. After that match, will Arteta still be the manager of Arsenal?
No, I'm looking at the fixtures. I think he probably will still be the manager. They'll probably be about 14th in the table by that point in time. I only think, looking at the fixtures, they'll have 2, maybe 3 wins at that point, maybe 10 points on the table. So if that's good enough for the Arsenal fans, after 7 or 8 games, then that's up to you. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I think most Arsenal supporters would say that isn't good enough. I think there's enough in that team that they should be, pushing towards the top 8. But again, that's where they finished the last 2 seasons, and Arsenal fans didn't think that was good enough. I don't know what their aspirations are for this term. I don't think that they're going to be a top 6 team. I don't think they've got enough. I don't think the manager's got enough. So you can, in my opinion, you can stop thinking about that. I've spoken to some Arsenal fans, unbelievably, who still think Champions League is a possibility. It's not going to happen. If you're one of those people, it is not going to happen. Just think about the future stability of your football club and getting some points on the board. Like I say, 1-0 to the Arsenal needs to become a mantra once again. I think he still will be the manager. I think they are at the start, as Edu's come out recently, their sporting director, in interviews saying of a long, long process. In fact, he said we're in the middle of the process. We've brought young players on over the last couple of seasons. We're bringing on more young players, and we're trying to get out some of the older players on bigger contracts. So if Mikel Arteta is the man entrusted with that process, then you have to trust it, Arsenal fans, to coin a term. But I just, right now, I don't trust that process. I don't think he's going to be the guy long term. But I think in 7 or 8 games, he will still be the manager at the end of the season. I think there's going to be a huge decision to make for the Arsenal hierarchy.
And then the Norwich game, do you think they get that first victory this weekend?
It's 1 or 2 ways for me. It's either they don't start well, the crowd get on their back, there's a huge frustration, maybe Norwich nick a goal, and it finishes 1-1 maybe there's a draw in this game. It's possible. I actually think right now there are similar quality teams. I haven't seen much from Arsenal this season to make me think they're going to go out there and batter Norwich. That being said, if they get a couple of early goals and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's on form, then they could batter Norwich. So I think it'll be one of those two. You know, Arsenal won't lose this weekend. I don't see that happening. I really don't see that happening. That would be a complete and utter disaster for Mikel Arteta and everyone involved with Arsenal. And I don't even want to countenance. I don't even want to think that that's a possibility.
I think Norwich will smell blood here. They really, really will do. I think I agree with you. I do think Arsenal will have too much. I think they'll have the quality there. And there will be, once that first goal goes in, I think there'll be a lovely little exhale within the ground and on the pitch. And then all of a sudden, it will feel a little bit rosier. I think we both said on previous episodes, it's about 10 games. Judge Arteta after 10 games when you've spent that kind of money. What I think will happen is I think there will be still some frustrations along the way. And I don't think he'll be gone by October 22nd. But I think by that point, he may be a dead man walking.
I've always said since the start of the season, I would judge him after 10 games. If he's lost 5 of the first 10, I think it's time to move on. You can't lose half your games at the start of the season if you're the Arsenal manager, in my opinion. So for me personally, that is not good enough and probably falls beneath the standards. I think last season already fell beneath the standards. You really had to hit the ground running this term. If you lose 5 of the first 10, that for me is the complete opposite. So if I was running Arsenal, that's when I would make a decision, but he would have to lose 5 of the first 10. He's already lost 3. So he's getting there.
Okay. Right, guys, let us know what you think. October 22nd, after that Aston Villa game, how many wins do Arsenal need for Arteta to be safe in his job? Let us know down below.
Hi, I'm Hugh Woozencroft from ESPN's Football Forecast. Make sure you're subscribed. You can follow all of our predictions throughout the season and get some other great analysis from our big names as well.